Greetings and welcome to Mitigating the Great Resignation with Automated Workflows presented by Chris Lean, Executive Vice President of Postal Affairs. This is a presentation I gave at the National Postal Forum, and I'm just doing a quick recap here for anyone else that's interested in this because there's been some very interesting changes and disruptions really to supply chains, productivity, and lives as a result of COVID-19. Specifically, I'm talking about the number of quits, people quitting their jobs as a result of this convergence of forces, and we call that the Great Resignation. We saw a record number of quits from July 2021 through December 2021, and you can see that represented here on the screen by over 4 million people quitting their jobs. And the industries that were particularly hit hard by this were the hospitality sector, hotels, restaurants, as well as retail establishments, and also closer to home, fulfillment centers, truck drivers, call centers, delivery services. A lot of the customers that are preparing mail had a significant impact with this. And while people were able to, for the most part in different industries, switch to a work from home environment, it's very difficult to do work from home if you're printing physical distribution copies such as catalogs, magazines, periodicals, and so forth. Worker quits continue to remain very high, in fact, at their nearest levels on record. And this is from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. You can see that as a result of the COVID and this Great Resignation, we're now nearly 3%. We saw an increase, the drop from the recession. It's steadily been going up. This is the COVID effect, if you will, here in 2020, and now it continues to be a significant number. Now, on the other side, job openings have plateaued at nearly double historic rates. And what this is really saying is that there are jobs available. Unemployment is significantly lower, but people just don't want those jobs. They don't want to work in those areas. They want to work from a home environment. They want some changes and more flexibility in their work-life balance. And as I mentioned before, it's very difficult in certain industries to be able to do a work from home. Garbage collection can't be done as a work from home environment, and neither can mail preparation. So it's really a challenge in a lot of aspects of how do you attract and retain talent to be able to help get the mail prepared, inducted, and distributed to the end recipients. Now, some positions, though, can be automated that will help to ameliorate or mitigate that. And that's really what we're going to be talking about here on this particular case study. And this has to do with a company called Heeter. Heeter's a customer of BCC software. They've been using our mail manager software technology for quite some time, and that was certainly helpful to their business and being able to prepare a fairly considerable amount of mail. They're what I would call a mid-sized printer located in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania. They're just over $33 million, 142 employees. They do focus on marketing communication, which is primarily that digital print fulfillment. So this is all about doing advertising content. A lot of that is going to be physical mail, and it'll be for industries such as insurance, gaming, pharmaceutical, retail, education, and so forth. And as COVID impacted those industries, and I'm sure that you can understand and recall that, in fact, it's still having an impact on areas such as education and retail. Heeter needed to respond, and they needed to respond by not only preparing the mailings every day, and again, you see over 225,000 pieces a day, and with most of it being marketing mail or advertising, but they needed to be future ready. That was a big part of this. It's not just keeping up with the constant demands of the customers and being able to prepare that, as well as ameliorating some of the changes with the Postal Service. It was also about helping to prepare themselves for future growth. In fact, that's one of the phrases that we heard a lot as companies were starting to come out of COVID, as their mailings were starting to come back. When they were, during that COVID time period, they had a pause of opportunity, a pause in the business that allowed them to revisit their entire workflow and see if there were certain areas that they could improve so that they could be future ready as well as continue to meet the challenges. And so with Heeter, it was all about continued growth. They had resource challenges. They had a very difficult time finding, attracting, and retaining employees to be able to help with their current workflow. They wanted to have mail piece visibility. Customers were asking for more visibility into how the mail was prepared, where it was inducted, when was it going to arrive in home. They were looking for a comprehensive solution. They didn't just want to do a point-specific upgrade. Again, we're really looking for a future-ready solution that could be extensible, grow with their business, allow them to attract and retain more business that would help them to be prepared for that physical and digital complementary communication that is so critical for part of a multi-channel marketing initiative. And this is particularly important as the Postal Service continues to grow with their informed delivery program. Informed visibility, as a reminder, is tracking mail pieces. That's all part of the visibility, accountability, and predictability of arrival of the mail piece. But informed delivery is the daily email of the image of the mail piece that's going to be delivered that day by the United States Postal Service. That represents a digital impression that, if it can be tied together in a coordinated effort with the physical piece as all part of a multi-channel marketing initiative, there's tremendous value for mail service providers, astute mail service providers like Heeter, to be able to grow their business. So they want to be future ready to be prepared for that as well. What they found is that by upgrading their Mail Manager product into the Mail Manager full service solution, they were able to meet their challenges on both levels. One, they were able to take their manual processing time per job from about 60 minutes or roughly an hour down to about 20 minutes. So saving 40 minutes of time, processing times, just by going with a higher level of automation, the scripted processing, that's all part of what we call our Taskmaster solution. And then the Job Manager, which is a folder, a watch folder technology that helps them to drop a file into a folder and it will take over from there. Mail Manager Full Service, as the name implies, is a full service solution that will take the job right away and begin processing that. And by saving 40 minutes a day, not only did that result in 8 hours processing time per day, effectively eliminating a full-time position, they were able to take that position and that open position and reposition that, if you will, into an area that represents future growth. So now they weren't just looking for, say, a mailing software operator. They were really looking for somebody that was more akin to a data scientist or a data analyst, somebody that could look at the name and address information and try to understand why they weren't able to get a complete, correct, and current address with that. They were able to take somebody and adjust that into more advanced logistics and distribution planning, which is really what mail preparation is all about. It's not about postage discounts or pre-sorting per se. It really is about strategically identifying how to group and present pieces of mail for specific geographic areas that lower the postage, improve delivery time, and represent a foundation for multi-channel marketing initiatives. If you look at just eliminating the position, which is one of the potential automation savings here that we see, it's roughly $55,680 a year that they ended up saving based on how much they were expecting to pay with that. So easily covered the attributable cost. So what we ended up here with for Heeter is several things. One, they were better prepared because of this positive opportunity of looking at their job and strategically upgrading it to be prepared as the mail comes back to be able to keep up with customers' demands. Two, it allowed them to be future ready. It gave them the opportunity to be able to explore things like data analytics and advanced logistics and distribution planning that further adds value to their customers. And three, it represented a very quick return on investment, something that was measurable that helped them to achieve their overall initiatives. So I hope that this gives you some ideas. Again, mitigating the Great Resignation is, in many cases, can be software. Sometimes it can be changing the process and the workflow. Sometimes it can also be about just changing the job description for what you're looking for from a mailing operations person to a data analytics. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful day.